Studio B, it's the bottom of the hour. Time for the top of the news. A live look at the state capitol in Wisconsin. Word today, the 14 Senate Democrats who left the state to block a budget bill could stay in hiding for days or even weeks. The bill calls for sweeping changes to the collective bargaining rights for thousands of state union workers, as well as bigger contributions for pension and health benefits. It was nearly certain to pass, but now it's stalled in the Senate. Nobody can act unless and until there's a quorum. A quorum requires 20 people. There are 19 Republicans, so they need one Democrat. And thousands of demonstrators have swarmed the Capitol in recent days to protest this bill. Well, this morning on our morning show, Fox and Friends, the state's Governor Scott Walker urged Democrats to return to work.
Whether they agree with the bill or not, have the guts to show up and do your job. Don't hide out in another state. Come here and do your job, make your case, make your argument.
Some critics are taking aim at the governor over his recent tax cuts that he pushed, ones that they say helped contribute to the budget shortfall. In fact, it did. But Governor Walker has argued those cuts were necessary to boost business in the state. With us now, the Democratic State Senator, John Erpenbach, who is of Wisconsin, one of the lawmakers who left the state to avoid the vote. Sir, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Good afternoon.
But bottom line, why is this degree of action necessary?
Have you seen the bill?
Yes, sir.
The bill it's very extreme. Public employees, a lot of people think this is about what public employees are going to have to pay. That's not what it is at all. The governor's going to get his money from the public employees. It's really more so about what it's doing to collective bargaining. It's essentially busting unions in the state of Wisconsin, and that's why you're seeing thousands and thousands of people show out in Madison. So we had about 100 amendments, and we were ready to go to the floor the other day and vote on each one, but it became very apparent, very clear that none of the amendments would be adopted. As a matter of fact, probably wouldn't even be considered. So the only choice we had to slow this down, and keep in mind, Shepard, this bill was introduced last Friday, and the governor wanted it law this past Thursday. The only way to slow things down was for us to leave the state for a couple of days, and hopefully the governor will re-engage in the debate.
What message does this send children, with teachers walking off their jobs and taking school children down to protest?
Well, they're not necessarily taking the school children down to protest.
Well, actually, we've actually heard, with great respect, we've actually heard from a number of students on camera saying, I don't really know why I'm here to protest, whatever that guy's trying to do. The teacher's taking him out of class, school's shut down. I'm just asking what the example that's being said is.
Actually, I don't believe teachers are taking pupils down.
Well, that's what the pupils said. So either they're lying or you're mistaken.
Shepard, it's probably parents taking their kids down there.
But that's not what the kids said. But be that as it may, continue.
All right. I don't know what it says to students, aside from the fact that sometimes this is how democracy works. And sometimes it's loud, sometimes there's crowds, sometimes there isn't. But at the very least, it's saying to kids, this is how democracy works sometimes.
Is it right and proper for you and your colleagues there to leave the state and not come do the jobs you were elected to do? Or is this part of doing that job? And if so, how?
I believe it's absolutely doing the job. What I'm doing and what the rest of my colleagues on the Senate side are doing is we're standing up for the thousands and thousands of people who have contacted us who haven't been heard on this piece of legislation, who either want the legislation stopped, changed, or at the very least slowed down. And so we absolutely believe we're doing our job by the action we took.
How long can this impasse go? How long will you stay out? Because you're obviously in the minority. Majority rules in a democracy, and the majority has said, you know, they're going to vote on this, and it'll obviously pass with all the Republicans. How long can you just not show up?
Well, we fully expect to vote. This isn't about trying to stop a vote. This is about slowing down a major league piece of
you expect to get a Republican to turn, or a series of them?
No, what we do expect is the governor actually to sit down with those who are having a problem with this, and the thousands of people who are affected by this, to sit down and talk with them and see if there's any sort of way to reach consensus. This legislation, Shepard, if you've seen what's going on in Madison, and it's going around the rest of the state, it's ripping our state apart. It's the governor's job to try and bring us together, build consensus on something, and move forward.
If the governor doesn't sit down, will you go back to Madison and get this done? And if not, how late will you stay away? How long will you stay away?
Again, you know, I would love to sleep in my own bed tonight. I'm afraid that's probably not going to happen. Again, this goes back to the governor.
So you're not going to answer how long it is you're willing to hold out here?
Well, we don't know. I mean, that's totally up to the governor.
Might you hold out for days? Might you hold out for weeks?
Shepard, again, that's up to the governor. When the governor is willing to sit down and really try and build consensus and take a look at the legislation, exactly how it affects Wisconsin, and try and bring us together, then that's a great movement forward. And that's what we're waiting to see.
State Senator John Erpenbach, sir, thank you.
All right, thanks.